What's going on? It's Gary from fitnessfirstnutrition.com here back with another video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And on this video, we're going to be talking about how truck drivers are in, for you better start looking for a new career. If you're a truck driver, autonomous vehicles are coming for you. I didn't know how close we were. I knew that they were replacing the Uber drivers. They're going to be cooked way before you will, but you are on your way out the door. Self-driving trucks are already on the road. I didn't know. But we have this group here, Kodiak AI. They just went public, and they have trucks on the road already. So we're gonna hear from the CEO here, and we're gonna find out how much trouble the average worker is in for.
Technology company Kodiak is going to begin trading on the NASDAQ after completing a SPAC transaction. It's changing its name to Kodiak AI. It's right now on the potential benefits of AI-powered trucking. That means trucks that are driving themselves. Is Kodiak's founder and CEO, Don Burnett. And Don, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I did not realize how these things are already on the roads, at least down in Texas at this point. Why don't you describe what the trucks are, how they run, and what the AI component is?
Sure. So the trucking is obviously a huge part of the American economy, and one of the big challenges over the last several decades has been driver shortage and challenges that drivers face on the road. And so we've been working to automate the trucks with AI technology that allows them to effectively drive on their own. And our first commercial deployment is out in West Texas with a company called Atlas Energy Solutions, and we have now 8 trucks that are fully driverless, meaning there's nobody in the cab, out operating on a daily basis.
And they're out driving, and you picked this area of Texas because it's fairly remote. There's not a lot of traffic on the road, but there is other traffic. It's not a closed loop.
Absolutely. So there's actually quite a bit of traffic, and in particular, there's a lot of close quarter traffic. So we have a lot of oncoming vehicles, heavy trucks, big vehicles, pedestrians, pretty much everything you would find on any road network. But it is fairly remote, and it's a great place to first deploy the technology.
But they're trying to go a certain MPH, obviously. If someone's in their way, they have the capability on a 2-lane highway of testing.
Absolutely. So we're operating off highway today, but yes, they can pass stop traffic. They can yield for other traffic. They follow all the rules of the road. All the rules still apply.
Well, unlike most, no, the professionals are actually good. I'm shocked when a pro driver stays in the left lane, and we're trying to get around it, and it's like, I know you know better. I know you do because you're a pro. But so they're going to do what a really good truck driver. I'm worried about with driving cars. You worry about, hey, if you want to go around and drive this car, that's your problem. You're not going to kill me. One of these things on the road, I worry about. Yeah, it could be coming. I don't know. I worry that truck could kill.
That's a big worry. A big worry for me would be the fact that these trucks. It's the same with the car. It doesn't happen very often, but it could happen, and it does happen. A sensor goes out, something gets misread, the computer malfunctions, and then the car, but in this case the truck, ends up hitting something or somebody. But these are huge. This isn't just a car. This is a whole big ass 18-wheeler. So the risk reward. So if you get hit by a Tesla or something like that, a sensor goes out, computer malfunctions. Not as big a deal as an 18-wheeler. These things take forever to stop. I remember one time I was driving. This is a long time ago, and I was training somebody on the road in a car, and I let them drive, and I forget what happened, but I think they cut in front of a truck, and then it was a sudden stop. The truck was far back. It was really far back. But by the time they slammed on their brakes, they had to go to the other lane to avoid hitting us. These things don't stop automatically. So if a sensor goes out, if there's a malfunction, it's going to take a while to stop one of these things on a highway from moving and killing multiple people. So that would be one of my biggest worries, outside of the fact that you are taking jobs away from actual human beings, because as this technology becomes more adaptable to our society, more companies are going to use it. They don't have to pay health care to drivers. They're already getting over on drivers. That's another video for another day. But they don't have to pay health care to drivers. They don't have to worry about drivers calling out. They don't have to worry about an hourly fee. They just have to worry about the technology fee. They don't have to pay payroll taxes on this because they're not human beings. But these are more people who are being displaced. So we'll have DoorDash people out of work. We'll have Amazon people out of work. We'll have Lyft people out of work. We'll have truck drivers out of work. This is a lot of people. This is just 4 things. We already have coders out of work. We have so many people who are losing their jobs to technology, and I don't really feel like our government is really addressing how these people are going to move forward, how society is going to move forward once there is really nothing for them to do. Andrew Yang was pretty early on this one, saying many years ago that we should have universal basic income where we should be paid to do nothing, which provides a whole nother set of issues, but that may possibly, I'm not normally for stuff like that, but you can't take jobs away from people and expect them to live. So let's get back into the video.
Well, me, I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. So safety is always our first priority. And as you said, our trucks are programmed to be conservative. They're going to sit in the right-hand lane, minding their own business. They're not going to cut you off. If they're going to pass, they're going to pass cautiously. They're going to pass when there's an opening. And so they're going to abide by the speed limit. They never get drowsy. They never drive drunk.
Right.
They're always paying attention 360 degrees around the vehicle.
You have 3,000 paid hours of these driverless trucks to this point. Have you had any accidents, any issues?
We have not had any at-fault accidents with our system.
At fault? Was there somebody else?
We've had situations where we've been hit primarily in the trailer by other vehicles. Absolutely. It's happened a handful of times. But that's the reality of being out on the road. That's the risk that you have to undertake. But our system is incredibly cautious, incredibly safe.
What happened when somebody else hit one of the trucks and there's nobody in the truck? Like how did they react to that? How do law enforcement react to that?
Yeah, the trucks are actually detecting whether they've been hit. So we're monitoring all around the truck. So we see when there's been a collision. The truck safely pulls over to the side of the road, and we have a 24-hour monitoring system, which allows a human to then go in and review the material, communicate with law enforcement, and handle the situation on the ground.
But that's, wow. I'm sorry to dig down into the details. I know you got a lot of the financial stuff to talk about, but I'm just thinking if I hit a truck, there was nobody in it, and then somebody from the company came and said, yeah, it was your fault. Show me that. Prove it to me. And how do you...
Well, I understand what she's saying, but for the examples that he gave, it really doesn't apply because unfortunately, anytime you rear end somebody, even if they come to a complete stop in the middle of a highway, it is the person who rear-ended you fault. At least in Pennsylvania, if it's different in your state, you let me know. But no matter what, if they come to a complete break, no matter what, even if for no reason, if you hit them, it is your fault in the state of Pennsylvania. More than likely, it's like that elsewhere. But if there was like a head-on collision or something like that, well, all this stuff is recorded, so it would be pretty easy. I don't really think that's much of an issue. Find out who's at fault because there's so many cameras on here, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Play that out. What happened in the instances where this has already happened?
Well, the great thing about our trucks, in addition to real-time monitoring of the scenarios, that we're logging all of that data. We have cameras, we have LiDAR, we have radar, so we know the speeds of all the vehicles, we know where they are on the road, and we're logging all of it. And so we can effectively replay the entire situation in a lot of detail.
Did anybody get hurt in the other cars they hit?
No, we've never had any injuries.
Okay. What's the plan from here? If it's effective here, I would assume that regulators in Texas are probably more lax than you would get here in New York City or somewhere. I see one of the trucks right across the street in Times Square. But how long before we see the trucks in urban areas, in metro areas, in suburban areas?
Well, we're working hard to scale the operation. We're starting in remote locations for safety reasons. We want to make sure we take a crawl, walk, run approach to this. But gradually over the next coming years, you're going to see an expansion of the rollout. You're going to see more trucks on the road. You're going to see more efficiency from these vehicles, and eventually they will be ubiquitous across all roadways.
How expensive is it for you to get started on this? How much capital do you have to pour into this, and then how do you make your money? You charge a service fee, basically, per hour or per mile?
Yeah, so this is a driver as a service, as we call it. So we effectively provide the service that a driver would typically bring to these companies, and they would pay us on kind of a fixed rate. So we provide the technology, the hardware, the sensors, the computers. Our customers buy the trucks. That's an important one for Kodiak. Our customers own and operate their own vehicles. We are an asset-light company, and then they pay us as a service fee on a regular basis to operate and drive the trucks.
How long before the company's profitable?
We haven't given any guidance exactly on profitability, but we're really...
It's going to be a long time for this company to be profitable. But, so this is a technology company. They sell technology, so people who create the technology will have a job. The people who create the trucks will have a job, but the people who drive the trucks will not. The jobs are being phased out. We really need to have some type of, we need to get some type of guidance from our elected officials, and they need to start being asked what are they going to do to address people being displaced by AI, eventually robots, and self-driving vehicles in the future. Because the future's coming. Truck drivers got maybe at most 10 more years before this is viable and you're done. Uber drivers, way less time. Uber drivers are probably about 5 years. 5 years and you're done. Amazon, probably in that 10-year range. They're not going to fire everybody at Amazon, but they'll be able to automate a lot of different things over the next 5 to 10 years. So 5 to 10 years is going to go like that. It'll be here and it'll be gone, and then it'll be millions and millions and millions and millions of people who don't have a job. We're already seeing it again with coders and engineers, software engineers. They'll only need a few. So anyway, what do you think? Are you scared of the future? Would you, how do you feel about self-driving trucks? Would you get into a self-driving taxi? Comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.